What is up, everybody? Welcome to SkillWarz Map Editor Tips and Tricks. I'm your host, Impossible, and today we are going to be talking about the pickups and the capture the flags and the domination objectives. So I'm going to load up my new colony map that I just put these on here. So when you have a map, you go into the map editor, you look at the project assets window, and you'll notice a few new things. We got some pickups here, the ammo, the health, and the red boxes. You've got the two types of flags, and you got your domination points. So probably I'll start with the flags, which are the easiest to explain. Well, you can have up to one of each type. And if you're doing any mode besides CTF, you don't need any flags. If you want to export a CTF, then your map needs to have two flags on it. Other than that, it's just simple as that. So where you want to put your flags, obviously you want to put your red flag by your red spawns and your blue flag by your blue spawns, generally. You want to put it somewhere where it's outside of the spawn, but it's still pretty close to the spawn. So it's not super difficult to defend, but it's also not far too close where it's going to be hard to grab. And it's hard to kind of figure out where that is sometimes. The most important thing is making it equally difficult on both sides. Putting each flag on in a place where each team can protect it, and it's grabbable by the other team about equally on both sides of the map. So for example, on this map, I put this one kind of outside the red spawn here, kind of by these containers that aren't really a whole lot of cover, but they are a bit of cover. And the blue flag, I did kind of the same thing. It's right outside the blue spawn, and it's near these tubes here. I mean, for your domination points, you can put up to 3 of them down. You don't actually have to put down 3. You can put down 1 or 2. But on this map, I chose to put down 3. These are actually quite big. They're like 10 meters wide. So you can't just put them any old where. They're not small like these flags. Where you want to put these is generally, so you got kind of like 3 options. You can either put them in a more or less a straight line across the map, which, unless your map is really long, you probably don't want to do that. You can put them side to side, which theoretically is the best option, but it only works on really wide maps. Like you wouldn't want to do that on this map because the map is so small. You could see all the points from each other. So your third option, which works on a lot of medium-sized maps, is to put them in kind of a triangle shape. So I'll go way above the map here, and you can see what I'm talking about. We've got this one here. I put this one here and here. Now, you'll notice they all say A. When you put them down, they all say A. The order that you put them down is A, B, C. So traditionally, you put the A by the blue spawn, and you put C by the red spawn, or whatever. I mean, if you're putting them across the map, then who cares? But that's what I do. So I put them down in this one, then this one, then this one. So then when you get in the game, it's A, B, C, like that. So where I decided to put these is not just where there's space, but you want to have some amount of cover, of course, by your position usually, but you don't want to have too much. You don't want it to be like its own little fortress. You just want to have barely enough where people aren't just going to get massacred from across the map while they're in it, right? And what you also want to think about is how long it's going to take to you want to keep in mind 2 things. How long it's going to take to get from the spawn to the position, and how long it's going to take from the spawn position to the B position, right? So like, for example, blue. How long does it take the average blue people spawning in to get to A versus the average red person spawning in to get to C? And this map is probably about the same, but you want to kind of do that. You also want to think about how long it's going to take for a blue person to get to B and a red person to get to B. On this one, it's kind of the same. And originally, I was going to have B right here, right in this kind of like loading area. But it's a lot closer to the red spawn and then to the blue spawn, so that would give red an advantage on this B position. So I decided to move it over here a bit to make it more equal. And then the last thing is you want to think about how far is this compared to these other 2 objectives. Because a lot of times people go capture A and then they're going to go straight to B, or capture C and then go straight to B. and you want that number to be roughly the same too. Now, obviously, there's room for whatever here, but this is what I think is tends to be the best outcome and the most balanced outcome. Is you want to have these 3 times the time to get to the nearby one, the time to get to the middle one, and the time to get from the nearby one to the middle one. You want those to be roughly the same amount on both sides, if possible. But you know, it's domination. So if someone has easier access to the objectives, you know, than the other side, then obviously the map's going to be a bit unbalanced. So that's the metrics I use to try and keep it balanced. And then so your pickups, you know, all these things you just place down like normal. Oh, and the last thing with the objectives is I like to face the letter a nice direction. But that's about it. I like to just face the letter a nice direction. But that's completely optional. Pickups, you're allowed to place down up to 10 of each type, though putting down 10 on a map is probably way too many, unless it's literally like the size of that city domination map or something. Normally you want to put down probably 1 to 4 each of ammo boxes and health packs, and 0 to 2 red boxes tends to be the amount that gets put onto maps. And where you want to put them at is the most like difficult, like tricky places. Not literally the craziest thing possible on the map, because you want them to be accessible, you know. So I'm not going to put a red box like right here or something, though I could, because this is an accessible part of the map. You want them to be in somewhat of an interesting place that is not very easy to get to. So like I put 1 red box here where you got to climb up on all this stuff and then run across to get to it. And then I put another one here where you climb up on this stuff and then jump over here to get it. For your health and ammo packs, you want to spread those roughly evenly across the map. Same thing with the red boxes. You don't want the red boxes to both be on like the blue side or the red side. You want to try and put them around in the middle, which is what I did here. And for your health and ammo packs, kind of the same thing. Basically, I just kind of do that. The health and ammo needs to either be like the same difficulty to access, or the ammo needs to be easier. So you can see somewhere where I put these health packs, like I put one here, I put one right in here, and over here. They're easy to access, but they're very much in the open. So it's kind of a risk-reward thing is how you want to think about it usually. They're very much in the open. Whereas the ammo packs, there's one here. I think I put one like back here, yeah. And you know, there's some in some other places, like right here. They're a bit more secluded. They're a bit more in these common like flanking routes and stuff. So they're not like right next to the spawns or whatever. I mean, this one kind of is, but you know, they're not necessarily super easy to get. You're not just gonna like run over them every single time, but they are relatively easy compared to the health packs, because people usually aren't gonna run, you know, into the open to get some ammo, but they're more likely to run into the open to get some health, and even more likely to run into the open to get some red boxes, which is why the red boxes you want to put in kind of these tricky places, in my opinion. Obviously, don't make anything too difficult. You want to make stuff pretty much accessible to people that have no parkour experience. So like this one's accessible, like it's kind of hidden up here, but you can just climb up here and get it. This one you have to sway jump across here, which, you know, is honestly a lot of people can't do that, but it's not all that difficult. And you know, that's how I personally do these, and I think that's probably a good way to do a lot of these. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down there. If you have any other philosophies, any other ideas on how to distribute these boxes and flags and objectives and how to place all this stuff down, please put it down in the comments. I'm interested to hear it. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informational and helpful. If you liked it, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more like this. With that all being said, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you later.